Hi, hey everybody, how are y'all doing? It's good to see y'all. It's been a little bit. T Girl, What Life, William, Ed, how y'all doing? Saw William last night, and I'm not sure that. And I saw T Girl last night. All right. So is everybody doing okay? I hope so. Um, Anaconda, good to see you. So I've been just thinking about stuff and listening to stuff like everybody else and trying to stay out of the crazy stuff like that's over on the other side. um Nothing I can do about it. I can't fix it. I can't. So I'm not gonna let it get to me. um I have enough to take care of right here in the home. Hey Daniel, good to see you. Stands alone, how you doing? That's a good one, What Life. I like that. Spotted rabbits. That's a good saying. I have one too. And I don't know where it came from, but if you want to get something you have never had, you have to do something you have never done. Y'all probably heard that, but I can't remember where I saw it or heard it, but I had to write it down because I'm kind of a chicken about doing new things. It does go with my title. Thank you, Wildlife. Because it's like, um, okay, a lot of people are going off grid and they're doing this stuff in that way. And so it's like turning back time when you're going off grid and you're making sure that you can live without any of the modern conveniences, I guess, is pretty much what you're doing if you go off grid. And I'm not sure that we need to go that far, but we need to be doing stuff like okay, all of us have had some sort of traumas in our life, and we have been um, something bad has happened to every one of us. We've had losses. We've had um, things happen that should never happen, um, as children, as adults, whatever. There's for some reason there's a high amount of abuse, and so the the point that I was trying to get across is that we got to let go of that. We can't, if we dwell on it and if we live in it, then that's what we are. That's what we present. We we stay a victim and we look like a victim. And so I say no. We're warriors. All of us are in some way or other. I mean, just just well, it's not a bragging point, but it's what I did. I raised 6 kids. to me, that was that was an accomplishment. And so all of the things that ever happened that were bad, so many more good things happened to make up for all that. It was just getting through it and becoming stronger because of it, and trying to make a good life for those kids. And a lot of times it was by myself trying to, and it wasn't always the greatest, but it was, they never wanted for anything. They had a roof over their head, they had food, they had mostly what they needed. Hey, Chuck, how are you doing? So, someone sent this to me, and I want to share it with y'all and get your opinion. It's kind of controversial, probably, but I would just like to see what y'all think about it. So I'm going to mute so I can share this and see what y'all think.
What's coming here is coming for the rest of the world. And I can tell you that same homelessness, the depravity, the drug use, the vaping, the abuse, the young men that are just out there to defile women, the young women who are out there to just use and abuse men, it is everywhere. The spiritual contagion and component that we helped give the entire world, 2 Timothy chapter 3, is down in every single country that I've ever been to over the last 3 years, which leads me to a very almost kind of like inciting statement. I believe that in 1948, when Israel became a nation, started that 70-year clock that puts us kind of like in the end time situation. I know a bunch of you guys go to Calvary Chapel here with Jack. And so you go through the math and you realize, okay, so 2018, 70 years is up. 2018, that, the group of elite deplorables have their gathering on a pandemic. 2019 gets rolled out. 2020, the first thing happens in all of the last, 1700 years. All churches worldwide shut down at the exact same time. So we know that the first 6,000 years, right? That's God's timing. The last 1,000 years is Christ's millennial reign. So at the end of 6,000 years, the time that Jesus is, influencing the world is called the church age. So the last 1,000 is called the kingdom age. So in 2020, what we saw at a worldwide scale is that the church age ended, and we are now transitioning into the kingdom age. And then what do we see in 2021? It's the first time there's ever a worldwide challenge and a worldwide solution. There's a jab, and if you don't take it or take it, the whole world, every country, every society, everywhere had to make the decision. The Bible refers to that as a system, as an antichrist system. Because once that's on the scene, that's a system that the Antichrist kind of maneuvers into, takes advantage of. And so we're there. I don't know how much more you need to see. I'm not saying it's tomorrow, because the transitionary periods of the Bible, Noah was 120 years, Moses was 40 years, Malachi to John the Baptist was 400 years. How many of you think that we can handle 40, even 400 years of this? Anyone? Okay, so if it's on display, if it's in the Word, show of hands. How many of your pastors are talking about rapture? Like it's on the table. Show of hands. Okay, how many pastors are talking about remnant? Oh, come on. I don't see. Yell it out. If I can't see a hand, yell it out. Anyone? I see one hand in the back that was like a sneaky little hand. What's the remnant? We know that Jesus is here for 1,000 years. So that means Christians are here for 1,000 years. We know that Revelation 20 says cowards won't enter heaven. So if Jesus died on the cross for our sins and then conquers the grave to restore our power, authority, and dominion so that we can trample all things, have dominion, right? Everything. And your pastor is telling you that you get a hall pass out, and you get a hall pass, and you get a hall pass, and you get a hall pass, and everyone gets a hall pass out. You don't even have to think about being here. It's bye, hall pass. It's hall pass. We're going. Let's grab my hand. Let's go. Let's go see Jesus. Okay, so God sacrifices his only son for us to have power, authority, and dominion to restore what Adam really messed up. And you don't think it's cowardly to just want a rapture out of here? So the Bible then says, Babylon falls in Revelation 18:20. It says, cowards don't enter heaven. I just want to ask you this question. What do you say to God when you have your exit interview and you're like, man, thanks. That was close. I almost had to be persecuted. I almost had to die for my faith. Whoo! That's awesome, man. The blue beam and the light just like took us up and like everything else. But hey, it's cool though, right? Like we're here. Like, where's the gold? Where's the mansions? We're here. Like, where's my keys? And he's just staring at you. He put you here on the greatest rescue mission a yard from hell, and you're celebrating getting out with a hall pass. And you don't want to be called coward. You don't want to be questioned. Everyone thinks that they're going to be told just because they got out in the rapture, well done, good and faithful servant. Who are we? I mean, outside of liars. How many of you, again, what I'm trying to address is you're being spoken to about a rapture, spoken to as if it's the predominant thing to focus on. And what does it do? It disengages you from the very tedious, difficult work of getting your ass kicked by mentioning Christ and possibly being hated and vilified and ultimately decapitated. Why do you think that the saints in heaven cry out for God to render judgment? Because things go sideways. And people are here through it and experience it and are tormented for it. And so I'm not saying that your pastors are setting you up for a fall. I'm just saying you have the opportunity of engaging your faith now on this side of heaven. You're a spiritual being surrounded by spiritual beings calling out to a spiritual God, going to a spiritual place. And you don't even know who your spirit is. You don't desire spiritual gifts. How do you even know, as the Bible says, the seal and guarantee of Christianity is the Holy Spirit's mark on you? And you're being spoken to more about the mark of the beast than the mark of God. You have to exchange this tepid, lukewarm version of Christianity for being a full-blown criminal as it relates to Australian police calling you an extremist. So I'm addressing the heart. It's the want. Your pastors are going to say whatever your pastors say. I've already told you, you're the pastor 6 days a week, so you don't get a pass. Your pastor, no one gets a pass. They will be judged harsher than you will. But you still have to say, God, what is, you'll have to explain your heart posture to God. And if your heart posture is rapture, show of hands. Who wants to just lay a hand on someone and heal them instantly? Be pretty cool, right? How many people, sick people in their lives? Cancer-riddled people, right? Pastor Mike, how many of you wouldn't just do whatever you could in faith to make sure that guy's healed on the spot? Okay, what about dead people that die prematurely? We're kind of seeing a lot of that right now, right? Young kids dying on the field, young adults, dying. SADS, sudden adult. How many of you wouldn't want to defy the enemy's plan and bring those people back? Show of hands. Anyone want that? So you actually want what the Bible has to offer you. What are you willing to do to get that? Amen. This is the greatest exchange that you're going to be faced with. A form of godliness but denying its power to a form of godliness but full of his power.
I don't know about y'all, but that hit home. More worried about the mark of the beast than the mark of God. But where our attention is, heart posture. So I was like, okay, what's heart posture? What is the good works? that we do to get there? What makes a good Christian? What makes us a good person, period, whether Christian or not, is what we do for others, how we treat others. Something that's really been lost is communication. Try to sit down and have a conversation with someone for 30 minutes, an hour, whatever, and see how long it takes before an interruption, a phone, anything. Uncle Dumpling, good to see you. Oh, okay. You have a good sleep. Chuck, Rabbits, Ronan, many of y'all still out there? I'll put the link. So we can have a discussion maybe. Even in the commandments, neighbors, love your neighbors, do for your neighbors, help your neighbors. Uh-oh, what just popped up? Go away. Oh, no, it won't go away. I can't see my chat. Where'd you come from? Okay, there y'all are. I'm leaving buttons alone now. And before the neighbors, though, is family. What are we doing for our family? Are we enabling? Are we just having them around to have someone around? This is me talking. This is just me, my thoughts. Are we taking care of them? Are we completely taking care of them? Are we being the provider that they need? Mentally, physically, spiritually. And a lot of us are single, and we don't have that. We don't have that partner to help with that. And so it's a lot. It's a whole lot. T-Girl, I agree with that. I think that, well, I don't know. I really don't know how it would be. Sean Stryker, good to see you. Steak call. What's today? Isn't today Tuesday? Okay. Making sure I'm not on the wrong day here. Good to see you, Sean. Yes, build families, build legacies. So that's what I was thinking about too. Like, I hear so many people telling stories. They're always just telling stories about what happened in their life. What if we told stories to these kids, grandkids, how to make a fishing pole out of whatever? Can you make a fishing pole out of a tree limb? The cane poles, we don't have any cane around here. I'm in the desert, remember? So or how to make a net to catch the fish. Then what to do with the fish after we catch them. From making something to trap the fish to the table, in everything in between. Are we teaching that? Are we teaching them what it was like to be able to just go out and ride your bicycle 2 miles from home and not worry about anything? We see now that these kids can't even stand in their front yard and have a party without somebody coming by and shooting up the place. It's just heartbreaking. Just telling them stories about how we used to sit around the humongous quilting stand that had to be kept on the ceiling. It was like on a pulley thing, kept on the ceiling until it was brought down and there would be like 10 or more of us sitting there quilting together. Canning, the whole process, planting the seeds, growing and harvesting what you grow, and then being able to turn it into pickles or a meal or whatever. And I just think that these are the stories that we need to keep passing down. History is so much of it. Hey, Sharon, JM, Benjamin, Marshmallow Man, good to see y'all. The history of, history repeats itself. Here we are. Now what? And it's how to survive through all of that, through anything that's thrown at us. Do you know that we live longer here in the United States than most countries? I just found out. We don't realize how good we have it here. And so I think that that's what happened to us, is it made us expect it. Maybe it was we had too easy of a life. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is there, but where did all you guys go? And I've been watching, there was one thing about nicotine, how nicotine is actually good for you. It cures things. Did you know that? And when I saw that, I was like, what? Then what happened? Oh, that's right. These tobacco companies wanted to make more people addicted to it, to where now there's 600 chemicals in a cigarette. And of course, they're cancer causing. They cause all kinds of things and are very addictive. So, yes, we should be telling our kids, don't smoke. Please don't smoke. Don't vape. Even the vape. I think I showed y'all that video actually. And the lady that had, I can't remember what she had, if it was cancer or what, but it was, she couldn't hear. And she went and got Nicorette gum, 2 milligram nicotine Nicorette gum, and started chewing that for 3 days and got her hearing back. Yes, that's true. Apple dumpling, I agree. Well, yeah, and that's the thing, T girl. I smoke and really wish that none of my kids did, but the grandkids, um, my oldest, she vapes, and the next one, I can't remember if he does, but none of the others do. So I don't know. It it's a choice, and that's another thing is making sure, or not making sure. You can't make your kids do anything. Once they get old enough, they are gonna do what they want to do, no matter what, just like we did. And it's more advising them as they're growing on what's good, what's bad, what we keep talking about good and evil. And yet at the same time, and that's everywhere. That's everywhere. Everywhere you look, there's going to be good or evil. Hey,
Hey y'all. Hey Bonnie.
you running? Who are y'all having a meeting back there deciding whether you're going to come up?
Have you're out of beer in your little fridge back there.
Oh.
I think Ronan got there before me and drank it all.
Yep. Sorry about that. I forgot to replenish.
I remember up in Ohio, everybody drank a lot of PBR anyway. So
You drink a lot of everything around here, it seems like.
Oh, so Spotted Rabbits was in the meeting too. How do they light cigarettes in prison?
You know what they do, from what I hear, is they
What?
take chewing gum wrappers, you know how it's aluminum?
Yes.
They roll it up and they arc it in a battery
yep.
Yes.
so that it sparks and catches fire. Then you can light your cigarette.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the aluminum in the foil will get red hot and set the paper on fire. You can also do that for a campfire or something. Hey, Marshmallow.
I've seen that done to light a fire for a campfire.
You ladies out there, I'll tell you a secret. If you got a tampon, you can push it out of the tube and pull the fibers apart and rip you a bunch of that out and then roll up some ash out of a grill or campfire or cigarette ashes or whatever, roll up in it and put it between like two bricks, rocks, or whatever, or two pieces of wood and rub it back and forth, and the friction will start that fabric on fire and build you. It'll make you an ember.
Oh, wow. So would it be the same with cotton balls or?
Yeah, cotton ball will probably do the same thing, but
Okay.
they just let all women know that they're dual purpose.
I've been saving those. I've been saving everything and could possibly look like a hoarder because I have a huge big box full of plastic bottles and pill bottles and
They come in useful for something.
yes, that's what I thought. But then at the same time, when does it become, oh my goodness.
My year is
this
my
crap?
rule. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
My rule is 2 years. If I find myself carrying that stuff around for more than 2 years and haven't found a use for it, it's going in the garbage. Or
That's
I'll
good.
try to make something with it right then and there. Otherwise, it's going right in the garbage.
Yep. Hey, Elaine. Good to see you. Well, see, and that's what I always heard about your closet. If you haven't worn it in a year, then start getting rid of it. But my weight kind of goes up and down, and so I can't do that.
Yeah, but like, how
You
many pill
could-
bottles and empty peanut butter jars do you really need to keep around? Sour cream containers.
Well, and those are useful though. That I wish that I had saved all those containers, because then I go and buy the storage containers, and kids are always coming and taking food home with them if I make something big, like the stew that I was going to can. And so there goes my Tupperware, my expensive stuff, and I don't want that gone. And who is Uper Films? Y'all got any clue?
Got to film something. Got to make a change in the world, right?
Thanks, George. George, are you going to stay calm?
I'm totally calm.
You put it's me, and I'm like, well, who's me?
Hey, George.
Surprise. How you doing, Chuck?
Pretty good.
How's
I
the
want to
family?
tell everybody about the use of first aid using sugar for it. I'm looking at a whole bunch of uses you can do with it.
Me and Aunt
Yeah.
Jack.
Yeah. I mean, you can stuff it in a hole, a gunshot hole, right? Stop the bleeding.
Yeah, it'll coagulate the blood. It also works as antiseptic.
Yep. Yeah, there's lots of uses for it. I mean, you could just use it on an open cut. So,
Spotted rabbits.
how's the family, Chuck? Did you get to spend a nice anniversary?
Yeah, we end up going out and eating and messed around after we got full. And she said, "Well, you want to do something else?" "No, let's go home." I said, "Well, I thought you'd want to go do something." We did. We went and ate. She goes, "We're old. Let's go home."
Oh,
I'm like, "Okay." And then her birthday was yesterday, and she took off work, and we went and messed around. And I figured we'd jack around some and trying to figure out where she wanted to go out to eat. And she goes, "Let's go over and get a pizza and just sit in the truck and talk."
There you go. That's kind of nice. Nice, peaceful, quiet.
Yeah.
yes. See,
That's
there's
why-
that communication.
That's why I like the morning times are me and the wife, because everything's calm. You know, it's the start of the day. You get up, you have coffee, you listen to the birds chirp, you talk to each other. I mean, we've been doing that for 30 years,
Most
you know.
idiots ain't up yet.
right? I wish she'd get up, put a log in the fire, though. She's already in bed.
Well, believe it or not, a lot of women would just like to sit and talk.
Well, I like to sit and talk over morning coffee, and then it's time to get to work. We do drive-bys all the time. You know what I mean? She'll be working in the yard. I walk by her.
Yeah, I don't know if I told you, George. I got one of them gummy stories. I got the experience. A buddy of mine come over the gummy, and I've had tasted one before, but it was a little piece of one of the ones that's like 25 milligram. I didn't realize the one he was handing me. He goes, "Here you go." It was a 500 milligram one, so I tore it in half. I thought, well, I did the 25 before and it didn't really do nothing. So I took that other half, which is more like 2/3. About an hour later, I'm waking Vicky up to let her know that she had to be up to get ready for work in an hour.
Knuckles.
Sorry, it kept me awake.
Yeah. And then I sit out here and was my conscience, my inner me and myself and the TV were having discussions. And I was so glad when that shit went away. And then now people, "You want a gummy?" No.
I'm tired of running circles from the kitchen to the living room to the bathroom to the kitchen to the living room to the bathroom.
Yeah,
Running laps.
I didn't have any pain, but I remember I was walking room to room just like I was looking for something.
Yeah, like you're lost.
Yeah.
Hey, that's old timers things. I do that all the time. Walk in a room and say, "Damn, what the hell did I come in here for?"
Yeah, I think that's a THC.
Yeah, it could be Ronan. How are you doing, bud?
Pretty good. It's good to hear from you.
How's the weather?
It's not too bad. It's warm during the day. It's up in the 60s, but then it cools right down at night. It's just around 32, just around freezing is a low tonight.
Right.
Not too bad. Got the fire going. It's warm in here.
Yeah. You got the fire burning?
Yep.
Me too. It's been burning over a month.
Well, we're heading into the weird temperatures where it's air conditioner during the day and heater at night.
Yeah, Bonnie, we're just getting into crappie fishing weather.
Yep. And I really thought we were going to have an early winter when we had that freeze about 3 weeks ago. But
I mean,
They're supposed to be making another front. I mean, we're supposed to have another front come through here.
making another one.
Did I say that? I think it was said there. I don't know who said that. Somebody behind me.
heck,
So
Bonnie,
did
I was thinking you never used AC because your blood never boils. Mine's always boiling.
Oh, my blood boils. Trust me.
That's the reason it gets so cold up there, because George is there.
Yeah. We'll see.
I asked Vicky yesterday, I'm like, why does everybody smile at me now everywhere I go? Since I cut a lot of my beard off, my hair short. She goes, it's because the way your beard is now, you look like Santa. And I said, well, I guess I got to cut the sides off that shit.
Hey, Andy. Good to see you.
Hey, Andy.
Yeah, you cut quite a bit off of it.
Yeah, I cut 6 inches off my goatee, and let's see.
That's what happens when I got circumcised when I was a kid. They took 6 inches.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
I know the feeling, Chuck. You look good, though.
Yeah, I don't look like the same person. I went from gruff looking to people want to come up and talk to me now, and I'm like, I'm not an approachable person.
Be an approachable person.
You just met the meanest man in the world.
Just get one of those bells and a red bucket and stand out in front of places ringing it. People give you money.
They throw
There
money
you go,
at you.
Stanos. There you go. Call it Salvation Chuck.
Yeah. You're like, ho, 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 motherfucker.
I think I've seen the police chasing people like that.
Made me think of Bad Santa.
So did y'all watch the video at the beginning?
Yeah,
Sort
it
of.
was a good opening message. People got to think about their relationship, their personal relationship. Everybody wants to mingle with everybody else and think it's right, and they're missing out on their own.
I was outside talking to Vicky. She just come in and we ate, and Rabbit got a hold of me and said, Bonnie's live. You better get your ass over there.
He be
Happy
lurking.
belated- Is Vicky there?
Yeah,
Happy
she's
belated birthday to
so.
Vicky.
I'll tell her. Either she's outside or I'll have her come in here in a minute.
Okay.
Let me go get her. I'll be right back.
I haven't been on Facebook or anything. I didn't know it was her birthday.
Well, there's that rabbit turd in the chat. Come on up, buddy. I only say that because I clean it up every year.
I'm gonna
Fill
change
it into
his
my
name.
gardens.
Change his name to Spotted Chicken.
He does. He could be either one, right? He's got both kinds of animals going. At least he did. I don't know if he still does. Been talking, but cons are bad, huh? Must be out in the sticks. Must be out in the sticks. That's a good thing, man. You ain't sucking in all them 5Gs. So I'm going to send some your way. Gee whiz. How about that? Gee whiz.
My daughter just got a new phone, and of course, you can't buy a new one now without it being 5G. And she said she can't tell a bit of difference. And I said, do you remember when it went to 2 to 4? You couldn't tell a difference either. It's, I don't know what well, if we listen to your videos, George, we know what the deal is, but
I can't wait till this spring. I got a whole new thing going, and it's going to be exciting for me, exciting for the family. Whole new setup, whole new thing. Like it says, Uper Films. I'm going to film the human experiment because I'm thinking it's failing if you ask God. So I'm going to go out and film it. Huh? We're having a EV trail bike built right now. We're going to deck it out, and we're going to travel around the UP. We're going to film, interview people, try to see what's going on in people's heads, try to take some beautiful country settings. And because I live on the biggest trail system in the world, I can cover the whole UP.
well, that sounds awesome.
Huh?
That sounds awesome to get other people's, just get them in a conversation. And
that's it. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to be doing them and putting them up, and going to have some fun with it is what we're going to do. We're going to enjoy life and see if we can't change our neighborhood at least.
Yeah. That's what we should all be doing.
I wish I would have done it 2 years ago.
With Thanksgiving coming up, we have for the next 2 weeks is like craziness here. The churches doing dinners, the community center, a lot of Thanksgiving dinners. If everybody went to all of them, we could expect to gain quite a bit of weight during this 2 weeks. And then the day after Thanksgiving, Christmas, everything starts here. The lights, the fireworks, the whole 9 yards. And so they have booths set up where you can buy the, like, food trucks, hot chocolate and funnel cakes and all the goodies. But we don't have a lot of fat people running around. It's just
that happens, right?
Yeah. I mean, we're trying to eat healthy the rest of the time. That's true, rabbits. Busy living or get busy dying. And that's another choice to make. I choose to live. Darn it. What? What life?
Greetings, beautiful people.
How are you doing?
Wildlife.
Hope you don't mind. I just figured I'd hop up.
Good to
Not
see
at
you.
all.
Doing well.
Good.
Picking peaches. It was we got that. Remember Christmas when that ice blast came down the East Coast?
Yes.
It made it a bad peach season. It was a bad peach season for Georgia this year.
Oh.
We
Yeah.
had them, but they just weren't as big as they normally are.
Right. Cold will stunt the growth of fruit trees.
Big time.
Yeah, we had the same problem here. Like I said, it made everything smaller. Our grapes, everything. We had to. We we had an abundance, but everything was smaller. Put it that way.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the way my garden was, and we didn't have a freeze. Wonder if the heat can do the same thing.
I mean, too much of an extreme can damage it, hot or cold.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing about heat. You never want to water something into heat. You want to get it when it's either
Well,
right at dusk. Water your plants, or the earliest you can in the morning before the heat of the day, for it has a chance to absorb the moisture. But then
yeah.
here comes another thing. You need to soil test your soils and know what you're putting in. I mean, the worst thing you can use is bagged stuff. I don't know if you ever watched one of my videos I put up a long time ago. It was called Biomass. I mean, this is people's crap that they make what you buy in a bag that you think's dirt. And all you're doing is whatever that person put in their body, that's what you're growing in. That's the dirt you're growing in. If they're on Prozac, if they're on heart medication, it don't matter. Whatever they put in their system, whatever they shit out, is what you're growing in.
Where
That's
I'm
as simple as I can tell you what it is.
I thought the tomatoes tasted funny this year.
Yeah.
Hey, what?
Tastes like chicken shit.
I guess that's what makes the schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
Yeah, there you go.
So if you stuff in your garden, you say it tastes like shit. Yep, it was some good shit I put in there too.
No, there's been studies done on that stuff. Where do you think these big plants get rid of it? They sell it to the people that bag that stuff up and sell it to people in the stores, calling it, plant dirt in a bag. That's where it comes from.
But isn't that what they used to use in the old days?
What's that? I missed what you
Wait,
said.
isn't that what they used to use in the old days?
Not shit with all kinds of chemicals and pesticides
Well, yeah,
and everything else in it. No, they
that's
used urine. What urine will do is it'll bring back your soils to a natural
pH level.
state of
Yeah,
pH
it's
level.
ammonia. You're adding that
Yeah.
ammonia.
Same
back
thing
Yeah.
with ashes out of your wood stove. I mean, these
Oh,
are
yeah.
the things we use. Someone's got to pee, I tell them to pee in my yard because, hey, I'm from the north. I've been peeing in the woods forever.
well, my
I
daughter
was a
was.
logger. I couldn't go 25, 30 miles to find a bathroom. I went wherever the tree was, and I knew one of the other sawyers couldn't see me.
You have the neutral.
Right.
And if they could see me, I'd shake it twice at them.
My daughter was telling me where our water reservoir is. Where it, is that what you call it? Where they redo it, whatever it is. She said
The
that
water table.
yeah, that you wouldn't believe the vegetables growing down there, and they look amazing. And I was like, but who would surely? And where'd
And the
they
ones
come?
you buy out of the store look amazing too.
Yes, but
I'd
it's
rather
like
have food with blemishes because that's real food.
So if you had tomatoes growing in your leach field, would you eat those tomatoes? Your leach field.
Oh, if it was mine, I wouldn't care. I mean, inevitably. I mean, I don't.
Yeah,
I
I'm
can-
mostly organic, really. I don't eat a lot of junk food, Don't take any meds.
I mean, if I actually absolutely had to, I mean, I'd trust it to the best of what I know. But I was cleaning out some grow buckets I had the other week. I said, well, let me go ahead and get some garlic and onions and stuff like that started. So go over there, and I hadn't been over there in the corner where they were for a while. Man, I had I guess it was seeds or some tomatoes fell. I had about 5 or 6 tomato plants that was a foot tall. I had a couple cucumber plants that done restarted.
that's good.
So I had to get them inside and prepped up and see how long I can extend them.
I think cucumbers and squash and stuff like that are the easiest to grow. Melons.
I like it. I love it.
Some reason tomatoes just don't agree with me growing them. They're so I got the cherry and grape tomatoes, but the biggest one is the size of a pea, and they turn color and everything like. And I keep waiting for them to grow bigger, and they're just not.
It could be a combination of things. Main things without any type of vegetables like that, they just need consistency, good soil, constant, water, stuff like that.
Is there a
Yeah.
lot of them on that plant? Is it a lot of little tomatoes
It's
like that?
about no, it's like I think one of them has 7 on it, and the other one has like 4. And so they'll grow in 3s, and but that one that has the 4, one of them, I mean, it is teeny tiny, and I've been sitting there watching it. Just something dwarfed them bad, just really bad.
Could
And the
be
peppers
root bound.
could be what?
Root bound.
Could be. And I need to redo my soil and everything. Because I don't for next one for spring. I'm gonna build it up, George. Compost them all.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm
Experiment and find out what works best.
Yeah.
In the private chat, I'm gonna put the documentary on that bag shit. Okay, you can go watch it on your own time. Right there it
Yeah,
is.
down.
It's like a half hour long. It's in the private chat. I can't put it in the regular chat, so it's up to you if you
Gotcha.
want to put it in there. But there is the link to biosludge. That is what it's called. That's what they call it. I call it shit.
I just seen that comment that was up there, Mennonites. Yeah, we have a pretty big Mennonite community here in this area.
Yeah, we don't have any of them around us. Wish we did, because they seem to be with it. And
They live almost like the Amish, but they're more modern. They have cars and stuff like that.
yeah, I know there's a bunch of them up around Abilene. I have some friends that moved there, and they become friends with them. That's how they got their house built, their shed. They're good builders, and they grow everything. But they've really been a big help to my friends that moved there.
They're totally self-efficient.
Yeah.
Amish is. I mean, not so much the Mennonite, but they're
Yeah.
so close to that of being that way. They can change back to that way easily compared to what
The average person.
The average person. You got that right.
Yeah.
They're not like the true Amish. They're a break off of the Amish.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have to learn hydroponics.
Never experimented with that. I need to.
You know how to tell them apart is their hat.
Yeah. But even the Mennonite women, they wear the long dresses and they have their hair up. I forget what you call it when they do that.
I don't know. I see a lot of Pentecostal women, and they wear nothing but dresses. And
no, the Mennonites can cook. Oh man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of videos out there on Amish and women cooking, Amish cooking, all that. I mean, you name it, it's out there. People want to learn how to do things. It's out there. How to can, how to save food, how to. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can do things. and
That's
make it
good.
cheaper in a world that's getting more and more expensive.
That's true.
And know that you're eating good food.
Yeah. Know what you got.
Right. But you got to put work and effort to learn these things. I mean, no one's going to come and give you the book on how to do it or for your area. I mean, everybody knows where they live. They know what's available.
Amber Alert.
Yeah, I hear
Mm.
that.
You know what? And I saw today where there were 25 missing teenage girls or missing girls in Texas. Remember, I was telling you about the Amber Alerts?
Yeah.
I think not sending them out like they used to. Whoops, sorry. There's mine.
Yeah, I'm hearing it all through the house, and are you guys getting them too?
I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, I did. We used to get them once a week at least
Mm.
on a live somebody's panel, and all of a sudden, the first time they heard it was when everybody was talking about the ESB going off. Is that what it was? EBS, whatever. And so they
On the
started.
4th.
Oh no, what is it? What is it? And I said, sorry, it's me. Mute.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm like. Why would they be hiding that? Well, it's not important. I mean, it is. When it comes to kids, yes. I wonder about everything with that because,
It's eerie when you're in a store or something like that and it goes off and you just hear it all throughout the store.
yeah,
Um,
everybody's at one.
yeah. It's good to have something like that. It's just sad it had to be put in place.
Well, this one's seeing most of them that they do share have the same last name. So it's a parent getting their kid back from
Mm.
the government or, whatever,
Yeah.
or
Ain't no telling.
a custody battle or something like
Yep.
that. Yes, Annie, Jack, that was mine.
Yeah, I don't have children, but I mean, I got nieces and nephews and sisters, so I mean, I can imagine.
Them are nice to have because you can ship them home.
I know. I give them all the sugar and candy they want. Yeah. It's like I got grandkids and I'm in my 30s. I love it.
Right.
Oh
There
my
you go.
goodness. You're in your 30s.
Yeah.
Oh, if I could go back to 30. I could turn back time.
You just don't want to go through your 30s now. You want to go through your 30s at a different time period. Oh, man. But I love it.
Yeah, I'd rather be closer to the end of the cycle than the beginning, the way the world's going.
I don't know. I just feel like if I was younger, I could do a lot more to make a lot more changes. I could be more involved in my community. Even though it's not hard to now, it's still, I knew I could do more. There, for some reason, and thank goodness, because everyone keeps saying the younger generations aren't paying attention, but the younger generations are the ones that are out there in the battle that I'm seeing. They're the ones going before the school boards. They're the ones going to the city council meetings. They're the ones that are speaking up about everything.
But they need people like you to go stand behind them.
Yes.
Even if you're not going to say nothing, you need to stand behind these people.
Yep.
That's what Americans
Yes.
used to be. They're not that way anymore. I guarantee you, if it's the Amish, the whole town shows up when they got a
Yes.
crisis. That's
Oh,
the way
yeah.
it's got to be now. But it's not going to happen. Everybody's too involved with too much of their own life, I guess you can say.
It's a system that makes you that way. It starts with breaking the family, community. You know, it's almost dehumanization in a way.
Well, we've been conditioned to think that we can't make a difference, when really, if we came together, we could make a difference. Humanity could stop all this shit tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Yes. But that's just it, is getting everyone together. I mean, we're just a really small community here.
You're not,
And
I mean, we're not going to get. It's not going to happen because the Bible says it doesn't happen. Put it that way. That's why I'll say it won't happen. It's a beautiful dream, but it ain't going to happen. Just understand the Bible and live joyously as you can, and show love. Don't say love. Show love. Remember, love is an act. It's not a word.
It doesn't take everybody to make a difference either. 1% is what happened when we settled here.
Remember the Wizard of Oz. It only took a dog to pull back the curtain, and it exposed the whole thing.
yeah,
That's where we're at. Someone's lifting the veil.
There's no place like home.
There's no place like home. Click it 3
Can't
times.
see the wizard, no way, no how.
Where's the lollipop kids?
but
I
even
love everybody, even if they don't love me back. You know,
that's good.
I
But
put
even
the burden on them to love me back. You know, I automatically love them.
There you go.
yes, but even seeing everything, you know, that's everyone's been searching for the truth, so it's pretty much all come out. So even seeing the truth, where's that getting us? I mean,
My experience, Body, is people don't want to see the truth. They say they do, but they don't. They won't look at the behind the curtain of what really runs this planet.
They'd rather stare at things with rose-colored glasses, thinking it's not that bad.
No, they'd rather, point the finger at the people they tell you to point the finger at. How's that?
well, I see people blaming everyone, like even where they're at or whatever. So,
that's the Bible talks about that.
but what good does that do? It's like I was saying earlier.
Just
Don't be the
that way.
victim. Don't be the victim. Be the warrior that has struggled through your whatever it was, and let it give you the strength you need for these times. And so when I saw that video, I was like, that's basically what he's saying, is to that now's the time to stand, to do whatever needs to be done in every way. Didn't he kind of say
Most
that?
definitely, you can either be a victim or you can be a victor of the circumstance. In life, it's like 10% is what happens to you. The other 90% is how we react to it.
247 years we're born as a Christian country. We're not a Christian country.
And these are just my opinions.
And I'm not taking anything back
Yeah.
away from anybody else's belief system. But this country was founded on a Christian belief. And it's what's being destroyed in this country. It's what's been under attack all over the world. I mean, they're killing. Do you understand? 1/3 of Palestine is Christians. Old Christians, not these newfangled ones. The old Christians. Remember when they said the hospital that was bombed there? That was a Christian hospital. Remember the church they said that was bombed there? They gave you the word itself, church. It wasn't a mosque. It was a church. This has been going on in the Middle East since the first Gulf War. And people are missing it.
But that's just it, is okay. That's what he was talking about, the persecution of Christians. We know that's going to happen. And
They're doing
so-
it right now, Bonnie. What I'm saying, if they've
Yeah.
been doing it for over 25 years,
they've been
30
doing it for hundreds of years. And
but not to the mass of what they're doing it now, right in everybody's face, and they don't see it because they don't go look and research and understand what's going on in the world right now. And I don't want to get upset, but it's the truth of what I'm telling you. People are not seeing it. They think that, here's what I hear all the time from every American. Oh, we're Christians. Remember, they've been Christians for thousands of years, not 247.
right. Well, I
They-
haven't been one for very long. I mean, excuse me.
Hell, that's what gets me is LGBTQ stuff. All them people in New York standing up next to all of them and all that for Hamas and all that. And it's like, it just amazes me because if you take them from New York and put them over there where the headquarters of them are, they would throw them off of buildings just for being what they are.
Well, you see what happens instead of building up everybody from where the countries that they come from and build them countries up, no matter what their faith is, just make them good people. That's all. That's how we used to be. It never used to be like we're seeing right now. I mean, you can go back 125 years and it was a whole different world.
Oh yeah,
You can't help but see it.
the guys that seen the biggest change in technology was the guys that were out there plowing with mules, and the next year guys were getting tractors and cars were showing up, and
Life started getting where you didn't have to do nothing, right? It all came to your doorstep. Like now, all you got to do is order from Amazon.
they were making it where you could get more done, and then turn around where people did less because they had something to do what they were doing. I
I don't know. I can never find enough time in the day to get all the shit I need to get done. I'm old enough and I was lucky enough to know my great grandfather and great grandmother. And they worked till the day they died.
I
And
got
that
to
was
meet
in
one of
the-
my great grandparents.
I was a teenager when they died. And I used to spend my summers there. My grandpa, he made me work when I was a kid.
I
But
got to meet. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. It's one of those pause moments, right?
I think it's the Georgia lag. We've been known for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd you guys do Saturday? How'd them Bulldogs do?
Oh shoot, we ate good. It's like one of those good Chinese buffets, you know. You're questioning it, but once you went there, you're glad you did.
Right.
No, they did. They played a good game. It's like we got to go through Alabama in the SEC championship. It's going to be a good showdown.
I wonder if they're going to let them play Ohio State or Michigan this year.
I hope they let us play both of them at the same time. We'll play one of them one half, and we'll play the other one the other half.
Oh man, you're getting silly now. You sound like my buddy who hates the Gators.
Hey man, that sounds like my buddy. I like him. Yeah, I got a coworker that's a Gators fan. It's always fun that time of year when we play each other.
Right. Little rivalry.
Yeah. That's it.
Bunch of
That's about the really only thing I follow. I follow the Bulldogs and the Braves. That's about it.
bunch of mine and Vicky's families up in Ohio, they hate the Steelers and love the Browns. And bad thing is, when I was young up there, I even knew back then when Jeff Gossett tried to get me he was trying to get me on the Browns and offered me money and stuff, and I laughed in his face. The Browns couldn't find water if they fell out of a boat in the middle of the lake. And then I piss them off every time they start dissing the Browns when I tell them, or dissing the Steelers. And I'm like, why are you so mad at them? Because at least they got rings on their fingers, even from the past. But
I think the Browns have got to be one of the most unluckiest franchises.
Oh yeah, they if the Browns were cooks, they'd burn water.
about like the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah. They had a few good years in the 90s.
Yeah, in the 90s. Yeah. Oh man, it's bad when you got to go into another decade.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had two good games during that decade.
Yeah, that makes it even worse. But yeah,
But even that, they've kind of messed up. It's not just good competition anymore, is it?
No, I kind of gave up when they started all the kneeling and all that kind of crap. I kind of gave up on sports myself.
It got all political and that's damn.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
and nothing's like it used to be at one point for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'd be something mayhem. I'll
So
buy you a Coca-Cola if that happens.
that's the only football game I ever went to was the Cowboys playing. I think it was Atlanta.
Oh wow, how about that? When was this,
Oh my goodness.
if I may ask?
The old
Like,
Texas
yeah.
Stadium.
Well, Tom Landry was coach. Roger Staubach, I think, was the quarterback.
Late
Yeah,
six-
Okay,
And
that was a
it
good
went-
era of football.
I don't think it was in the 70s. It was in the 80s, like early 80s.
Yeah, mid to early 80s. Yeah, Staubach.
Good quarterback.
He did good for himself. Yeah, that's back when it was still football, the gridiron.
Dick Butkus and Johnny Unitas.
Man,
That's who I grew up with when I was a kid.
smoking cigarettes and drinking beers on the sidelines.
Yeah. That's exactly what it was.
Man. You know it's bad now when flag football has become an official Olympic sport.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Talking about the NFL.
No, the Olympics, they adopted flag football as an official event. I think it starts. I forget when it starts, but not this coming one. Yeah, I might as well sign up for it. See if I can get on the American team.
My daughter went to see OU and Texas play.
That was a good one.
Seems to be the biggest one. But so see, y'all can communicate real well about football.
You love it or hate it. Sometimes it's a conversation starter or ender. I remember, y'all remember the refrigerator Perry?
Yeah.
He's from not too far from here. Probably about, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes in Aiken, South Carolina.
Yeah.
That was a big guy.
We had one that I went to high school with. I think he went baseball though. Chuggy Upshaw. I do not know what his real first name was. I'm sure that once he went pro, they didn't call him Chuggy. That's all I knew him by.
We got this one baseball player, Clayton Kershaw. I wonder if they're related.
And his last name was Upshaw.
Oh, Upshaw.
Yeah.
Oh. Definitely never met a Upshaw.
There's a lot of them in my hometown. But the Upshaws that I knew had 14 kids.
That's a lot of
It's a
kids.
big family.
Yeah.
Can't imagine.
I can't either. And they had a little bitty house. And so that's when Chuggy started making big money. He built them a new house. That was
Never have to
When
take dedication to your sport if you were a duelist. In the
Dueling pistols. Gotta look that up.
right.
You know, why now it's replaced with flag football.
Stockholm. Is that Sweden?
That's a city? Stockholm?
Yeah.
Feel like I should
In,
know the answer, but I don't right off.
in Sweden, right?
I think it's Germany, yeah.
Could be. No, it's also a syndrome. They call it, I think, Stockholm syndrome.
That's where the person that gets abducted becomes sympathetic to their abductor.
Yeah, in a sense, yeah.
Patty Hearst in the 70s.
Poodle clipping Paris 1900 Olympics. What?
Professional poodle clippers.
Stockholm, the capital of Sweden. I don't know why I thought Germany, but
Sounds like it would be, though, don't it?
Yes, that's
Stockholm,
That's a-
Germany.
I
Stockholm, Sweden.
thought it was Sweden. So they have made it in Stockholm that they can't have any vehicles that are normal vehicles inside that city area because
You mean gas powered?
yes, nothing gas powered, nothing
Gotcha.
nothing fuel powered.
That's like Mackinac Island. You can only go horse or bicycle.
Wow.
So my friends are all moving out to the country in Sweden. Same as here, doesn't it?
How big is the city? Do you know? It's like oh, that's the capital.
Yeah, it's the capital.
Oh, wow. So you're talking millions.
Yes. And although Sweden is small, and surrounded by ocean, not surrounded, but good part of it. Let's see. Population.
It's definitely something to look into for sure. Kind of goes along with kind of everything else in a way.
Oh, it's not as much as I thought it would be. 975,000.
Really?
That's 2020.
Yeah, I was definitely way off on what I was figuring.
Yeah, I was thinking millions.
that's like the population of Texas, ain't it?
Probably. No, Texas got a lot of people.
Well, it does, but does it? I've never really looked that up because just my county is small,
Wow.
11,000. And so, but there's 256 counties.
Plus all the illegals.
And yes, so now we have to add those, I guess, somewhere. They're not in this county, but I'm sure they're out there. Encompasses 14 islands on more than 50 bridges on an extensive Baltic Sea archipelago.
It's definitely
Whatever.
interesting. I did not know that.
$67 million. Wow. Oh,
I believe that.
possibly. And so
That's
that's
a
the
lot,
thing.
though.
Yes. When we were talking about communities, I can see the good and bad in every community. It's because we have so many around us, so many counties. There's like 6 counties meeting up with our county. And so, of course, we travel all around us. And generally, it's the same. The people treat each other the same. The people have the get-togethers the same. The communities, and we even go to other counties to their things that they're doing. It's same. They come here for whatever events we're doing, and so you do talk to a lot of people, and um, like I said, there's good and bad everywhere. And it's just trying to find the good ones and having heartfelt conversations and not letting it make you against everybody just because of the few. And I think that that's where we have a problem also is the way we group people together. Like all Muslims are the same, or all Jews are the same, or all whatever
Yeah.
culture, Indians, blacks, whites, Asians, that they're all the same, and they're not. If you just sit down and really talk to them. That one chat that I was in, there were people from all over the world in it. I mean, some countries I hadn't even heard of. I think they were in Africa, and I'm not real good with Africa. But so they,
So that can be deceiving too, because you can buy people to go in your chats. I mean, it's pretty deceitful. So you got to
I
watch it.
understand, but
Huh?
I understand that, but at the same time, they're all saying the same thing. They're all wanting the same thing as we're wanting. They're like, this is what's
This
happening
isn't
in our
nothing. Freedom is
country.
nothing new. Everybody wants freedom. Freedom is not nothing new. God gave you freedom.
Right.
Everybody
But,
just wants to keep giving it away to somebody else.
Yeah, freedom can be given; it can only be taken away.
Right.
but it's not just freedom. It's um, the whole structure of the family that we were talking about, or the persecution just because of whatever, the color of your skin or your beliefs, or it was everything that they were talking about.
When you break down like the family structure and stuff like that, it makes the burden even harder to carry on everybody. You know, mother, father, children. Um, you know, when you had the family unit, everybody did something. Everybody had a role. and it just made it easier for the flow.
Well, I mean, you don't have no freedom of choice anymore, really. And if you look at how everything's been broken down in our society, it's because we're losing freedoms. Families are breaking down because they're pushing shit. You don't have a freedom. They force you into a box. Love is breaking down because you're forced to have to choose between this group or that group.
They do
Everything's
that.
being everything that is supposed to be true about freedom is being broken down. And freedom does go into the family, goes into your neighborhoods, goes into your
Yeah.
love, goes in your education, goes into what you put in your body. God gave you
And
the freedom. If you put the poisons in your body, who knows who's controlling what you're doing or thinking or anything.
but still, George, you have the freedom to make those choices.
And which
You can,
freedom are you choosing? What'd you eat tonight?
I eat like poop, and everybody knows that, but it doesn't matter. That
What I'm
was
saying
my
is
choice.
we're being forced into a box.
Okay,
It's
but
not, huh?
I'm not seeing that. I mean, that was my choice. I was able to choose that. Someone didn't force me to eat it.
No,
I ate a
They,
that's freedom.
couple
That's
tuna.
freedom. You chose to eat poison.
I ate a couple turkey and cheddar sandwiches. I took it kind of
And
light tonight.
and I don't mean to be, I'm being honest about it. We don't have choices anymore. We don't have freedom. We don't. We're being forced into boxes. And it doesn't matter what box it is. I mean, if you look at it religiously, spiritually, anything, they're making us make choices. All their laws they're putting into place is a choice. Do we
Yeah, I
accept it or
mean,
not? And we keep
it's a
accepting it.
choice. It's a choice for us to either follow it or not. We
And
that's
so
have.
what
far, everybody's tolerating. I'm sorry, Ronnie, go ahead.
I was just gonna say. That's what life is. Is life is choices. I mean, going back to what Bonnie said, we can choose to be the victor or the victim if we
And thank
want.
God that God gave us that option, right? Choice. But they're
That's it.
forcing us into boxes where we have to make choices about things. Otherwise, we have no other choice. Is what I'm saying. You don't, Bonnie. You keep saying I don't know where to go get this food, and it's because they've taken it away.
No, I
You
go to the
used to be
farmer's
able to get
market.
good food. They didn't have to put labels on food. A tomato was called a tomato,
And
but now it's.
because I couldn't grow mine, I go to the farmer's market and they have
I know,
amazing, beautiful looking produce. And I know the growers, they're local.
right?
And
And
so I have that option, thank
right.
goodness. And that's my choice is to go to the farmer's market. I may pay a little more than I would at our local grocer, but I know that it's better food.
How about your medical? See, we could
Medical,
keep going where I'm saying we, over
and
the
you
years,
have
we have been
choices.
forced into these boxes where we got to either accept their way or no way. You notice how rules and regulations and everything's are on everything. Don't matter what
So,
it is. And when there's
George,
rules and regulations, that takes away from the freedom of people being able to grow food and stuff like that. What I'm saying is we're being forced into boxes. It's not freedom no more.
Yeah, 100 years ago, if somebody wanted deer meat, they went out in the woods and shot a deer. Didn't have to ask nobody. Didn't have to have a license, or if you wanted,
Right.
you went and caught them. Now,
And the same
so
thing with fishing. You know,
are you
you got to buy a
saying that?
license to fish.
So are you saying that everything's hopeless? That we're
What I'm
just
saying is, it doesn't matter what part of this society we're living in, we're being forced into boxes that we're having to have to choose. They're separating us, and they
getting
have
more and
been
more
separating
choice,
us for years.
getting more
It's
and
like,
more choiceless.
right, less and less freedom. Less choices is less freedom.
Well, you know how you eat a buffalo, don't you?
No,
You eat them one bite at a time.
there
fix
you
to
go.
say one bite at a time.
Just keep one biting at a time.
Yes.
Some old man used to say, life's like a shit sandwich. The more bread you got, the less shit you got to eat. But
Yeah. You're going to get it regardless. You might as well make the best of what you're getting.
yeah,
Right.
Our,
So now what?
our friends in blue helmets over there say that we'll have nothing and be happy, which
I mean, I think this has always been the case throughout history. There's been people more oppressed than we are now, and it's looked gloomier for more people than it has looked, than it does look for us now. Even the
we
future's never really promised to look bright for anybody, as far as I know.
we used to be the beacon, the shining example. Everybody wanted to be there or go here or what have you, but now they want to come here because it's like a handout for them, but they won't help their own people here.
But even, did God promise us a good life? Really?
I think we have the promise from God, and that's the promise of like peace of mind. I would say is one of the things that is offered to us throughout these times and throughout time. That's always been trying and more trying. I mean, we don't have lions chasing us yet, right? They're not throwing us in the Coliseum and feeding us to the lions quite yet. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They're not that bad. However, they're messing with everybody. I get that. And they always have. They always will be for as long as time until Jesus returns, right? That's what the Gospels say.
Yes.
So
Yep.
what we have is that, and that's kind of what your video was talking about. We've been talking about the mark of the beast this whole time, and now we're starting to talk about the mark of the Holy Spirit. And I would say, for one thing that I hold on to is that peace of mind, and that, food for the belly and belly for the food, but God's going to destroy them both ultimately. I'm not putting my faith in that. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about my daily bread, so to speak, because I know where that comes from. But that peace of mind that takes me through day by day by day, knowing that tomorrow's problems will have their own solutions. I just need to get through here and now, and having that peace, is something that needs to be passed on to generations. That's what needs to be taught.
Definitely.
They've been chipping away at our spirits, haven't they? That's pretty much what it's been, chipping away at our spirits.
Hey,
When
meat
people
puppet.
are forced with no other choices but to accept theirs, there's got to be a loss in our spirit. We got to, you know what I'm saying? And we got to gain that back.
And you can only do that with communicating with
With what?
God. You can only do that with communicating with God.
And it's a personal thing. It's a personal thing with you and God.
Each person, yes. And that's why I say there's so many levels, so many pathways, so many people are okay. I know the Bible says there's not so many pathways, but even still, each person is on a different spot on that pathway.
Yeah, but you got to keep moving on that path, and nowhere in the book does it say God tell you to stand still in that one spot and I'll come carry you.
No. Well,
our journeys are the same, but our paths are ultimately different. And how we get there.
As long as you
I
have the same destination, some people are going to go straight to fire, and I hope they have the best time of doing it too.
Some people encounter more dirt roads, rough roads, roadblocks, and hazards than others, but
Yeah, uphill both ways in the snow.
yeah, defy the laws of physics, but we'll get there, We survived 100% of our worst days so far. I don't know if that means much in the grand scheme of things, but...
Exactly. Look how many things they've thrown at us, and here we still are. And calm. We're not all just, okay, sometimes I spin out and get weird, but mostly basically calm. And even with, it doesn't matter if you're out in it or in your home, it's still, that somebody said, you are what you are the people you hang around with, or you start picking up the of the people you hang around with. And
Yeah.
so that's the hardest part, is staying where I should be spiritually with a whole counter of someone that I dearly love. I mean, it's a battle. It's a spiritual battle every day. And
Think about it like this. Flying starts from the ground. The more grounded you are, the higher you can fly.
yeah, that's a good one.
G-Dog.
And so that's where, how do we, I mean, even with me just describing that, is do I get just turn into a, some people only listen whenever you turn into a raging lunatic. Does that make sense? Like when you're
I think
Yeah.
people listen when they're ready to hear.
and maybe
Yeah.
that's it too, because I've even seen where, because I don't cuss, but if I pop out a cuss word, it's like all eyes are on me. And, oh, now I've got your attention. Okay. And that's what I mean.
Don't leave his dog crap till they step in it.
But then I don't want it to go to abuse either. Like, I think that if, well, I know when you're constantly yelled at and cussed at and just treated rough, it's gonna affect you. And I think that's where the armor comes in.
Yeah, Rabbit, that's Tupperware's for a family of 5.
Yeah. Sometimes it's tough to find that middle ground. And like I said, some people, like you said, some people just don't want to listen until they want to, or hear you until they want to, which just makes it even tougher.
You
Oh,
either
we get
charge
to see
through or
the
step
great
to the
legs.
right. You either charge through or step to the right and keep going.
Boy, did you have me up there?
Where was that at?
About something I'd seen in the media. It's like they got it all wrong, and I knew the person involved, and it was not a good situation. You wrote back, you said, it's all lies. Back to nature, the only truth.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I wrote that down. I put it over my desk. I know that's true. I'd tattoo it on my forehead if I didn't already have it well committed to memory.
When I say it's all lies, you just talk about how limited our facility to see and understand what we see. Yes. Based on that, that leads us to we can't know much on everything. Our resolution
It's
is
all
so
lies.
low.
Back to nature, the only truth. Back to nature, the only truth.
Look at all the beauty.
Did you hear
around.
that?
Yep.
That's me. I'm back to nature. That's where my solitude's always been, is when I've been out in God's creation, away from man. Solitude. Think. Put my hands in the dirt. Look at the beautiful creatures that were created. That's where I get my solitude.
And I understand that. We all need to do that once in a while. But at the same time, we have to learn how to communicate with the ones around us. And I think the communication is what has gotten lost. Here we all are. We have different views on things, but we can still get along, I think.
Oh
We
yeah.
haven't broke this marriage up yet.
I wasn't. God's not there, Elaine. I'm meaning it's kind of like your father. Your father, yeah, he shows you what to do and explains you how to do it and teaches you stuff and expects you to learn and all that. You can't call your dad in the room every time you need to do something and have him do it for you. And God's the same way. God wants you to see. He wants you. We have to do our own choices. We have to show our own things. It's like they don't control us to go a certain way or do it a certain direction or nothing like that. We're free-minded, open-minded. I'm lost my train of thought. What's the word? That we're not put on rails.
Discernment.
Yeah, we have freedom. Even the choices we make, God's not going to change our mind. Even if we choose to go in a direction we're going to burn in hell for. People make them choices every day when they kill somebody or molest a kid or whatever they do. There's no pulling them out of the fire. They got that freedom of choice, and you can either be a decent person or you can be a piece of shit and burn for it. God's not going to interfere either way. He'll show you the way, give you a direction to go and all that. But after that, you're on your own. Otherwise, everybody could do what they wanted and everybody's going to heaven. Everybody's going to have a fruit basket and everybody's going to be a millionaire. But nope.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Some people want the med beds so they can live forever.
Let me go see what these stupid dogs are going on about.
Yeah, I don't know about the med beds. I haven't. You know, all the promises made are not promises made, but all the things that people have talked about. The Nasara, the med beds, the all the. Have y'all heard that new Tom McDonald song? And it kind of, when I listened to it, I was surprised, first of all, that he actually sang, and it wasn't a rap song. But he's sitting there, where's our Superman? And so it's like, no, you're still waiting for somebody to come in and save us. And no one's going to do that. It takes each of us doing what we need to do. We got to save ourselves. And we may not. We may end up on that block. We don't know what's going to happen. But each day, we've got to try and be better. We've got to try to just help our neighbors, be there for others. People are going through a lot of stuff. We have so many kids. I just saw this thing in Texas. Teenagers dying all over the place from some new drug, another new one. Besides the pink stuff, now there's another new one. And even the pink stuff, they said it only takes 3 grains of it to kill you. 3 grains, like sugar grains. And
Mm.
so we're battling all this stuff that the kids are getting involved in. Why are the kids getting involved in it? What are they lacking? That's where we're failing our youth, is not being there for them. The programs, the Big Brother that they used to have,
They
There you
still have those programs.
and
Like Big Brother, Big Sister.
yes, and so how many people are involved in that? I don't see anybody mentioning that on YouTube. The whole thing that I've been hearing since this began is save the children. How do you save the children? You get involved. You get involved with those children, as many as you can. That's why I loved being a Girl Scout leader. I had 32 girls in there, and hopefully I did something good out of all that. It was a lot of work and a lot of years, and I don't think getting away from people is the answer. I think going to people is the answer. And
I agree.
communicating with them and sharing any skills, any knowledge, anything that you have with others. However you have to do that.
Whose children are you talking about saving? If we're talking about the 10,000 Palestinians that have been killed in the last 3 weeks by American bombs, are them the children are we talking about saving too?
George, how can I do that? How can I,
We
as a
get
person,
together and tell our government to quit giving arms to these people and call them out to tell them to stop killing children. This is wrong.
That always works. Telling the government, they listen right quick.
Remember, each one of them bombs is made in the USA. I guess this is the people that we are. We've been doing it for the last
No,
30
I
years
don't. I
real heavily.
disagree with that. That's not the people we are, because I could choose. So what Bonnie is saying is I can choose to be in the Big Brother, Little Brother program or whatever it's called, right? I could choose to do that. I can go downtown. I can sign up. I can jump through the hoops, do the paperwork, and be a big brother to some kid who needs a big brother, right? That's what
Right.
Bonnie said. I can do that. I'm capable. That's something I could do. I could petition the government, tell them blue in the face for whatever they do with the military across the world. They're not going to give two shits, and it's going to do no good, right? It's going to do no
Absolutely.
good to nobody. I'm going to get
But if
heartburn.
Americans don't
right?
speak about it, how do people understand what's going on? If we don't speak about what we're saying about save the children, all children needs to be saved. This is
We have
humanity.
spoken.
God
We have
created
spoken
every
time and
child.
time again. It's
God
not just one
created
country;
every
it's all the
child. You need
countries.
to
We don't
speak
want.
out.
We don't want to be world police anymore. We've said it loud and clear,
Wait till they start
loud
killing
and clear
tens of
over and over
thousands of
again.
American children. Then see who speaks out.
We've said it over and over again. We don't want to be world police, for a long time, right? Now, as far as what I can do, they're not going to change their rap. Doesn't matter what I say. But what I can do is I could choose to go and sign up, or I could choose to go and volunteer somewhere else. I can be in the Habitat for Humanity. I can load up my tools, drive on down there, fill out the paperwork, do whatever it has to do, jump through some of their hoops. Because, all these organizations want to make sure you're not into steal or harm, right? So there's things you have to do to be involved. You do those things, then
Yes.
you become involved, right?
Fight against abortion. How many babies are killed every day?
Yeah,
Right
that's another
here.
thing. I mean, it's like we're a killing machine. Our country is like, I'm just pointing something out. I'm not saying, here's one thing you don't hardly hear too many people talking about it. This is one thing. And so I thought I would bring it up to people's attention of what's really going on in Palestine right now and
And
many other places around the world. But it's right in our face, and I don't hear hardly anybody talking about it. All these people that got their Christian shows and everything else, and they're throwing roses at Jesus, and he's going to come and save us. But they speak nothing about these children being killed in the world right now. Nothing. That's the only
I,
reason why I brought up what I did. And you know what, Ronan? You're also a figurehead to your nephews and nieces, and that's probably where you need to stay, just like the rest of us with our families and making sure that they're taken care of,
Yeah,
that they're
family
getting
first.
the right guidance, right? Because they're the
Yep.
closest ones to us.
yes,
That's all
but
I can do.
I've
Yeah.
also seen where when I was doing the Girl Scouts, my girls were in it too. So they were seeing that. They were seeing what was going on, how it helped those other girls. I watched them grow into young ladies. And so they saw that and they learned something from it. They were involved. And the same with horses. That's why we did the horse thing. And so they were counselors at the camp for special needs kids, for kids with medical disabilities, for kids with all kinds of problems. It was a camp just for kids like that didn't get to do the ordinary things that other kids got to do.
And these things are good. However, the most beneficial thing for those kids would to be at home with their mother and their father and being provided for in that manner. And that's kind of something that
Right.
we can work towards more. I guess, sometimes it's not a good thing. It's toxic, if you will. But sometimes it seems like it's government engineered to collect checks and such.
Yeah. And no, I chose camps that one of them was a Christian based camp, and it was so the kids had to work. And when I say work, before they could play with the horses, they were building cabins for more kids to come and stay in. They were painting, they were clearing the land, they were doing all kinds of things. The other camp was more, the founder of it, his daughter was special needs, and that's why he made that camp. And he's from San Antonio. And he made a place in San Antonio also for all these special needs kids to go to. It's kind of like an amusement park, but not really. I don't know how to explain it. And so the funding was done with, you know how the rich people do fundraisers. And so if you make it a good enough cause, those rich people might throw some money at it. But it was just, I tried to make sure that they were good people who were doing these camps that they went to. And the children only stayed at the camp for a week. 5 days was all they were allowed. If you were a counselor, you could choose to spend the whole summer there. And one of my daughters did at the Christian one. She spent the whole summer there. But she was getting so much from it. That's where she found Jesus. That's where she was saved. A lot of times your kids will listen to other people more than they will you. And so that's why I feel like getting other people involved can be a good thing. Does that make sense?
Well, if you think about it, most people let somebody else teach their children. That's why they send them to school. And then when they come home, they don't spend the time with them and teach them the things. They, let them play, do their homework that the teacher sent them. They're not involved in the child's life anymore. And it's been going that way for a long time.
Right. That's why I'm homeschooling my
So
granddaughter.
they're trained to listen to other people over their parents. You see what I'm saying? When it comes to knowledge and stuff like that.
That could be true.
Well, that's who's filling their heads with everything.
Yeah.
It's just something to think about. That's all I'm
Yes.
just thought I'd
Yes.
mention.
No, I'm saying I agree with everything that y'all been saying tonight. It's just, it was kind of, okay, so we know all this, now what? And I'm just saying how I feel like I can be a part of battling the system. And it may not be the same for everyone. Each one of us has we're different people in different ways and different strengths, weaknesses, skills, knowledge, whatever. Each one of us is different. But that's the beauty of it. That's what makes it all work. If it's done in a good way with your heart. Maybe. I'm going to stick to it. Did y'all all fall asleep?
No.
Whoops.
Can you hear me?
They went
Yeah.
what lie? Yes. Oh, he
Loud
said
and clear, Leroy. Kick the shoe.
Leroy.
Well, I think you're onto something, Bonnie. Kids do tend to rebel against their parents at some point, and you see an opportunity where you can kind of control who your children are around in, a Christian setting versus not. Sometimes you have no control over that. But ultimately, sometimes you're that person. You seem like the kind of person that probably a lot of your friends or your children's friends got along with and looked to for advice, perhaps from time to time. So and that's kind of what makes the community, right?
Yes, those kids all flocked to my house like crazy. It was, and so those are the ones I call my adopted kids. And there's a lot of them. And they still come to visit, still contact me. It's for life. It's not something that I just was a part of their life for a minute and then that was it. And so when one of them gets lost along the way for whatever reason, because they've chosen a life that is hard on anyone in that type of life, then they can't find their way back and they get hopeless and they end up committing suicide. And it is horrible. Do what?
I said good night, Elaine. I hope I didn't offend nobody out there. I'm just giving my point of it. And me as a father is like, you can only show your kids so many times. You can't keep doing it for them. They either learn or they can't. You have to, like, no matter what, no matter who you are, if you put something to somebody's head, tell them you're going to do something. If they don't do it, if they choose not to do it, even your threat is useless. If they decide that they're going to stand on that hill, then that's it. Oh, that was nice. I just knocked the camera down.
Whoops.
I wish your camera was on. I could
Somehow
have
it
seen
got
you.
wrapped around my foot.
Take care, Elaine. Elaine's very passionate.
Well, guys, I got to take off. Y'all have a good night. Good seeing
Yeah, I'm
you.
gonna.
Great conversation.
It was. Thank you, George. I appreciate your
Well,
input.
you're not done yet, I hope. I gotta leave.
Yeah, I'm gonna. That's. I don't want to go too late. We have a big day tomorrow. I'm telling you, the next 2 weeks is going to be crazy busy. Yeah.
He was outside. Tell everybody hi and much love.
Okay. I miss that. But we're just we got my mom. We gotta go do things with her tomorrow. We're planning Thanksgiving. I have a lot of people, so it's a big deal, and it takes a lot of who's gonna make what, because it's a lot of people to feed.
Right. Everybody in the chat, just stay off of Santa's naughty list. That's all I got to say.
If you're
Yeah.
going to be on the naughty list, make it worth it.
Hey, check it out and see what it's like, right?
Yeah.
I haven't seen really bad people in the chat.
No,
Everyone-
I'm just saying. I mean, just keep good faith, good vibes. I mean, stay off the naughty list. It's just a joke.
Absolutely, I understand.
I didn't want someone in the chat to get that confused. I never try to pick on anybody, but if it reflects on you, you should think about it. That's all.
Yes.
I try to reflect on things. I'm an
Thank you for
asshole. I
saying
already
that.
know it. I mean, hey,
I do appreciate you coming up, George.
no problem.
Good to see you, George.
It's good talking with you.
Y'all have a good night, and I'll see you again around the corner somewheres. Remember, I dropped that link in the chat. Go watch it. That's on that biosludge that they sell you in bags. It's only about 30 minutes long. I think you'll get something out of it.
Okay.
And it'll help.
Well,
I mean,
Yeah, I watched the thing on hamburger meat in a roll, and it's basically pink slime, and it's not all hamburger. It's whatever.
yeah.
yeah.
This is just about the dirts that people grow in. That's all. I mean, it's just the documentary on the studies and that. It's pretty interesting. Like I said, it's only about a half hour long, but I guarantee you won't buy another bag of it. But all right, y'all take care. Love
See you later,
you.
brother.
See, I said it.
Much love,
I
bro.
said the nasty 4-letter word.
Love you, George. Take care.
Okay.
Okay, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and close this one up. To be continued, maybe. We'll see what happens.
Much love
Thank
to y'all.
y'all for joining
See you
us.
Bye.
Thank you, Chuck and Ronan, for coming up and having a discussion with me. It's always great.
If anybody has a
Yeah.
recipe for cricket flour meatloaf, send it to me.
Yeah. Nope. And wait, flour doesn't go in meatloaf. I won't get in that argument with you.
Cricket flour. I'd rather do that one thing I've seen where they took garbanzo beans and chickpeas and ground it into a powder and made a meatloaf out of it. And I was like, yeah. I guess I'd rather have that than made with bugs.
Yes. Well, y'all have a good night. See you next time.
Good night, everybody. Much love. Night, y'all. Night, Ron. Rona. Good night, Bonnie. Love y'all. Bye.
Good night.
Y'all do what you can. Make each day better. Hope to see you soon. Good night, everybody.